Yong here, decided to go into one of the more problematic areas of Cheng Cheng's Tai Chi form, and that is Repulse Monkey. Now, this is a postural procedure which a lot of students have trouble with, especially getting it down just correctly and when does the step come out of it. Now, I see a lot of errors even among advanced or intermediate students when it comes to Repulse Monkey. I like calling it Repulsive Monkey because that's basically what it looks like. It's kind of repulsive because the number one thing they're always doing is violating the Tai Chi principles. Now, to do Repulse Monkey correctly, you have to adhere to the Tai Chi principles. Now, we all know what those are. You've got to make the sacrum vertical to suspend the head top. You got to hollow out the chest slightly to pluck up the back. You set the chin from the back of the neck. Nose and navel always stay in alignment, as does the points of the shoulder and the points in the hips, the pelvis. So the most you can turn when you have your posture correct is 45 degrees on either side, okay? Now, not only does this lock your waist when you have the principles correct, it locks my arm. So when I'm reaching back, I can only reach back to the plane that runs through my body horizontally this way. So if I was to cut my body with a horizontal plane in half this way, that plane rotates 45 degrees. Now, with a plucked up back, my arm has to stay with the line in the seam of my shirt. The line on the seam of my shirt is the plane, the horizontal plane of my body. So if I'm doing Repulse Monkey, or if I'm doing the movement from white crane back, my arm locks. It's like hitting a wall. I cannot turn and put my arm farther back if I have the principles correctly. Now, if I twist my spine and break the principles, I can do this. And that's what you see when people are doing Repulse Monkey all the time. You see them, do this. They twisted their spine. That violates the Tai Chi principles. That's the number one thing I see all the time. Or the other thing is always, they look back at the backhand, twisting. So they twist their spine and now they're twisting their neck. That is completely incorrect. It's wrong. Now, how do we get it correct? And the other question is, when does the step come? Now, this stepping problem is the biggest one that a lot of people have, because I see them just step willy-nilly. They just step when they think they should be stepping. And that is a problem, because the step always comes from the turning of the waist. As you turn the waist, and right before your center line hits front, is when the step comes out. So to step properly in Repulse Monkey, my turning the waist causes me to begin to feel a pull on this leg. So right before my center line gets forward, there's a pull on that foot, and that is what causes the step. So there's a feeling of pulling on that leg, and that's when the step comes out. So I don't willy-nilly decide when to step in Repulse Monkey. My turning my waist picks up that front leg and causes the step. Now, a lot of people wait too long and they overturn and then step. That is what causes the duck foot. I wait too long and step, and I'm too locked. That is when I have the error of duck feet. Now, if you're doing the Yang 108 form, and in that lineage, you're supposed to be doing the duck feet. But in Cheng Cheng's lineage, we keep the feet on railroad tracks, shoulder width. But as I turn my waist and sink on that leg, it pulls the front leg. It pulls. pulls. So that's when the step comes out. So let's practice this in place so you see how it all works together, and I'll do it from the side. So if we are in Repulse Monkey, I shift. And this is the training I want you to do, is try to keep Repulse Monkey in place. I turn, step in. Forward foot goes forward. I come back. Now it pulls the foot back, pushing forward. It pulls the foot back, shift. See, if I keep my feet flat on the floor, I can more fully feel when I'm supposed to step. So instead of stepping, try to keep your foot flat on the floor. So you begin, turn, now keep your foot flat on the floor. And it always follows the sequence. Center moves, waist moves, substantial arm, insubstantial arm, and then the leg. That is always the sequence. So, substantial arm, insubstantial arm, and then the leg. 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 And drill that. Everything turned by the waist, and you'll get the proper sequence in Repulse Monkey down. And it's worth working on, because otherwise you have a ton of errors, and I see it even in advanced students. They're just willy-nilly deciding when to step, they're waiting too long to step, or they're twisting their spine and turning backwards. So you need to get over all those errors in Repulse Monkey to have it done right. So good practice, everyone.